Hi, everybody. Sam here. I am so excited to be here with my friend Autumn. We've been connected for a little while, and I'm so excited to have her on for our micro interview series. We are going to share a tip, thought, or piece of advice with you that possibly could be something that would help you learn one more thing to get you to the life and business you love. I believe if you just continue one choice at a time down the path, you will be able to create that life or business you love. And so if you're here, brand new, never been on our channel before, we're so glad you're here. If you're coming back, we're so glad you're back. And Autumn, I'm really excited. I would love to have you share what I like to call your superhero origin story. Just a couple of minutes about who you are, how you help in the world, and maybe how you got from where you were to where you are now.
Yeah, hi Sam, thank you. My super origin story. Okay, where I started, a little bit about my story, kind of a very long story short, but for years I really looked like a high functioning person on the outside. I was always smiling, I held it together, but in the inside I was very inflamed, I was exhausted, I had a lot of self-doubt, and I felt really disconnected with my body. And I had suffered from, as a child, I suffered from a lot of illnesses and then went from being sick all the time to chronic migraines and really heavy and painful menstrual cycles, insomnia and rashes, digestive system. So it started off as my body like whispering to me, and then it started screaming at me. All of these things were going on, and it was trying to send me messages. And but at that time, I was told, your labs check out, your scans check out. So it's kind of your head. I don't know. Here's some meds. This will help you cope. But my intuition knew that there was more to the story, right? That was not going to be my journey, that I was just going to feel like I was living in this world where I was on medication to function and then on medication to sleep, because I'm a joyful person. I love to have fun. I love to be around people. And I felt like I was always just trying to force it because something was holding me back. And I grew up as a kid, I grew up as the peacemaker. I was holding my emotions in. I was always absorbing everyone else's stress. And I learned early on that I felt like I had to put others first, right? And I love giving to others, I still do. But the traumas that I had went through in my life and the chronic illnesses and just even toxic relationships and use of silencing symptoms led me to a place of burnout. And everything changed for me when I became a mom. I was watching my baby who was suffering, and I had just had a baby and he was suffering, and the doctors were telling me that everything was checking out. You're a new mom, you're just not tuning in, he's fine. And I knew that what was going on was not okay. So it forced me in a way, or lit a fire under me to really take ownership of, okay, what do I have control over in my environment, in our environment? So what was that? I focus on our food, our home environment, the products we use, our habits. And I really saw firsthand how healing happens, how your body, when it's nurtured, right, and it's given the right terrain, healing happens. And you're just reducing those burdens and you're listening to what it needs. And so that's when I really true transformation happened. And that's where I decided I want to learn more. I want to learn. I saw the changes and the shifts in my health and in my children. So I went to more training, and I went to integrative nutrition, functional nutrition training, embodied Pilates, nervous system work, and I just studied it all. And not really for, oh, I really want this certificate, but I wanted to understand deeper the why behind symptoms. Like, how can we tune into what those messages are for us, and to look at the body holistically, right? So the whole body, everything that influences us in our environment and our thought and everything that we're exposed to. And so that's when I stopped judging symptoms and I focused more on transforming the terrain that I was in. And that really It wasn't like a diet plan. It wasn't an eating protocol or tracking calories or something. It was building a foundation. It was discovering what got my energy back, what brought my joy back, what reduced my pain, what helped me sleep now and function. And so that's when I felt like this has got to be, I have to help others. They don't need to go through years of discovering this on their own, but I can help them. And so that's really what I do now is help others to
Yeah.
discover this in their body.
I love how you started with you, went to figuring out for your kiddo, and now it's just like this thing. But also, you talked about the holistic thing. And before I hit record, we were talking about how the superhero origin story, our stories are so long and likely started before we were even born. And that's how holistically you can look at some of these things, that something's happening in your body because it's been there just the whole time in your life. And if you're trying to figure out just one little thing and you're managing the symptoms and not getting to the heart of the matter, you're not going to experience the healing that you could in any area.
Yeah, exactly. Because when we think about it's easy to get caught up in fixing. And so when we realize that something's going on, we're looking like, oh, my digestion's off. I need something to fix that, a protocol or a supplement or a pill, or if something's going on, we're looking at the symptom. But when we can look back at and understand what's triggering and what patterns, what's involved in it, we can really start to support the different areas in our life
Yeah.
that all cohesively are going to help bring a better function. Because I love when I studied functional nutrition, it was about it's a systems too. And if one area is feeling disconnected, dysregulated, it's going to affect so many other areas. So if we can support, I like to call them micro shifts because it's like you don't have to do a big overhaul every day and spend hours and hours on trying to fix everything. It's a matter of finding these rhythms where you learn how to nurture yourself and you can do it anywhere and
Yeah.
learn those powerful actions that we can take.
Yeah, that's so good. One of the doctors that I used to follow, this has been 20 years ago now, maybe, he would say that whenever somebody came in and they wanted a pill for a symptom, and he would say that's like somebody pulling the fire alarm in a building, your body's screaming, I'm on fire, I'm on fire. And then somebody just goes and turns the fire alarm off because you don't hear your body screaming anymore because
Mhm.
it reduces the symptoms, but you still have the underlying thing. The fire's still burning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that that's it. What you were talking about made me think of that, that you try and get to the fire and put that out. Right? You're not just covering
Yeah,
it up.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's finding those foundations and understanding, like you said, the fire and that. And so inflammation, people get scared of that word inflammation, or they think, oh, it's bad. It's there to protect us. But when it becomes chronic and our bodies being, so many things are coming at us from stress, from our environment, it can manifest in different symptoms. And so it can
Mhm.
show up in different things in everyone's body. So really going back to restoring our health at our foundations and nurturing that every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like for you, we've already been sharing tips and thoughts, but
Yeah.
just because the natural conversation that came up from what you shared, which is part of what we do. But I'd love for you to share one particular tip, thought, or piece of advice, something you think that anybody listening, I know you work with guys too. Most of the women, most of the people that'll be watching this will be women, but guys, if you're watching, Autumn works with you as well. And so just share something you think that might impact their life and help them in one way or another, and we'll have a little more conversation.
Yeah. For one thing, I like everyone to know that they're not broken, but they're burdened. And before trying to fix everything, learning to observe, learning to bring awareness and presence is such a valuable tool. Because, and one thing that I think that helps a lot of my clients and it helps discover patterns is to track. And for some people, tracking can be triggering, but I like to think of tracking as a tool to build knowledge, not out of judgment. But when we track, how we're feeling, maybe even before a meal, how we're feeling after a meal, and that can be physically, emotionally, mentally, what was on our plate? How were we functioning? How are our bowel movements? How did we hydrate? How well did we sleep? When we track and we look at patterns and we're discovering things that maybe could be triggering, awareness is so valuable to start tuning in, because the things that we're feeling that maybe we ignore or that we don't want to feel are our body sending us signals and messages. So if we can build a little bit more awareness, even if we're tuning in and saying, oh man, I hold my breath a lot. I need to breathe. I'm tensing my shoulder. I need to relax. Or how are we perceiving things, like little things that we can track in a day, and maybe even just do 5 days and see if you notice patterns that you're like, okay, I want to tune in a little bit more, because that's a starting point. Awareness is such a great starting point.
Yeah, that's so good. And so I am a fan of tracking, and I've done it in lots of different areas of my life. And an example that you made me think of just now is I've been working on my food intake, trying to figure out being aware of certain things. And I used to like to eat oatmeal in the morning for breakfast, which oatmeal, there's nothing wrong with oatmeal. But as I started tracking how I felt before and after I ate, what I recognized very consistently was even if I put healthy things in the oatmeal, I would be hungry sooner and also feel tired. And then I started doing some research on some of the things, and I'm like, I know why.
Yeah.
And so now then I started playing with, okay, so what are the things that when I eat, and I actually don't typically eat until 11, and between 11 and 1, I don't eat in the morning. And that's been working for me really well. I know it doesn't for everybody, but it really does. And when I break my fast with breakfast with just protein, I stay full longer. I have more mental clarity throughout the day. And the other thing I've started doing is I do have some coffee in the morning, but before I drink my coffee, I have 2 big cups of water first. Changes
Hmm.
the whole day, right? And the only
Yeah.
way I know those things is because I took the time to be intentional to say, this is what's happening. And so you're so right when it comes to, and it's just
Hmm.
observation, no judgment, just observations. And a lot of times we think things are happening that aren't, but when we actually take the time to write them down, do we have to go back and say, oh, wait, that's really what it was? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really powerful.
Yeah, and that's a big one that's one of my foundations that I always teach on, is balancing your blood sugar is huge. And when you found out, like, certain things can maybe go a little high, a little low, and you're dropping in your energy. And so, like, you realize right away that when you switch to a higher protein meal, you felt sustained energy. So that is not being restrictive. You're actually giving yourself value through adding in something that is going to make you feel and have the energy you want. And that's what I love to feel. I think about nutrition is it is so valuable that you don't feel like, oh, I can't have that. You feel like that doesn't really serve me. This does.
Yeah. My husband is so funny because we're in Texas, and he's a very, I would say, traditional conservative person for the most part. And he won't do breakfast for dinner. He just won't.
Mhm.
But what he won't also do apparently is dinner for breakfast, because I made steak and eggs for breakfast one time.
Yeah.
I was not hungry for like 5 hours. Like it was,
Yeah.
and not a big steak and nothing fancy, just the steak and a couple of eggs. And he's like, now you're trying to do dinner for breakfast. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm just telling you, who made up the rules? Who says you have to eat certain things at certain times of the day? What I told him was, you clearly haven't been paying attention if you think I'm going to fit within some little box.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, but
Love
I
it.
love being connected to you, and I cannot wait to share this stuff out with the women and the guys that may listen. And yeah, do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap up today, though?
No, I think just realizing that your body is amazing, and you have so many opportunities to just feel ignite that potential for healing and thriving. And so through all different things that you can do for yourself is great. And just getting that support you need, and it's gonna happen. So don't give up and find what works.
Yeah, don't give up, find what works. And I will make sure that your links are all around this video where everybody's watching so that they can click through and get more connected to you. And
Sounds
I
good.
hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.